Greetings, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the Real Talk Show. I am your host, Dr. India White, and today we are going to be talking about the holidays and what we are doing to prepare for this fun time. So go ahead and join, go ahead and share. I'm so excited to be here with you guys tonight. I hope you've been taking care of yourself. I'm getting notifications. Today has been a pretty eventful day, pretty fun. Um, but I think the one thing I want to share with you guys is first, I hope you all had a great day. I hope you've been able to really take care of yourself. I have been focusing on taking care of myself and making sure my family is okay. And I think not only physically, but emotionally, taking care of yourself, mentally, spiritually, taking care of yourself because you're only one person and you're not replaceable. I mean, people can replace you, but there's only one of you, right? And so we've got to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves, that we're loving ourselves and putting ourselves first, no matter what. And so with that said, I want to take time to just talk about, I guess, a little bit about the holidays and talk about parenting. I'm going to speak from the voice as a single parent myself, and what that means around the holiday time because I know I'm not alone. Um, and so we're going to kind of just address some of those stigmas and see how can we support those in our family that might be, in that same chapter or might be going through, different mixed families, broken families, and things like that. Um, Seeing that we've got Christmas is 15 days away. I hope you guys have been taking advantage of the holiday season. I don't know if you've gone Christmas shopping yet, or if you've got your Christmas tree, if you're all about that, or if you're into Christmas music. I know I played Christmas music earlier this week. It was kind of cool. I was jiving it. So I hope that you guys have been able to really start getting into the Christmas spirit and keeping your hopes up. This is a very different Christmas for all of us. Of course, we know with COVID, there's so many different things going on that it's not our happy-go-lucky Christmas. We've lost loved ones, right? And we're dealing with this virus and how can we bounce back as a nation. But I think that the answer is going to be in us just remaining strong. We have to be strong in the season. We have to be there for each other. In this season, I think it's very imperative that not only are we there for each other, we really go out to be intentionally, like thoughtfully, um, purposefully there for our neighbors as well. Um, I am under an impression. Somebody said this to me a while back, years ago, and they said, whatever you do unto the universe will do it unto you. And I know that's weird. A lot of people, I get some backlash on that because they're like, hey, what are you talking about? Where are you going with that? But it's true. And I feel like the way we treat each other, if we really have a decent heart towards each other and we're really looking at the intent of why we're treating people the way we are, um, I think if the intent is good, at the end of the day, we will be rewarded for our good deeds. Um, I have a saying too, a pretty interesting saying, nobody gets by. I think all of us, we have to remember that and consider how do we want to treat each other, because one day we're going to be out of here. And I think that, when we come closer to that day, things are really going to start counting, right? And so with that said, start thinking about the holiday season and how, we can, support those out there in different hats. So our show is we're going to talk a little bit today about parenting and things. I wanted to remind you guys first that the show is available on SoulNet Radio, WKDH station, on Mondays through Fridays, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you watch and tune in. That will definitely include replays of our show. And so I think you'll be able to get a lot of really cool information. So let's dive into some things about single parenting. Now, before on this show, we spoke about divorce and marriage. And one stat, it says every 13 seconds, there is one divorce in America. Wow. even after I read this paragraph, it's going, or this sentence, there will be a divorce. 77 divorces per hour, 6,646 divorces per year, 2,419,196 divorces per year. And, I think the numbers don't lie, and it's a pretty sad stat. Um, but we have to start seeing what can we do about what's left, right? Divorces happen. That doesn't, and there's a stigma behind divorce as well. And people are people. They're going to believe what they want to believe. They're going to have opinions. They're going to talk. Well, they're going to talk if you're doing good. They're going to talk if you're doing bad. They're just people, right? And so, unfortunately, sometimes they're just not at that place of maturity to really embrace what somebody's been through and to try to see through an open mind and through a positive lens the good that can come out of every situation. But on this show, we're going to try to do that. So I want to talk to you guys about single parent stats. They say 81% of single parents are mothers, 19% are fathers. Okay. And so, and the gender difference is more pronounced among Black solo parents. Okay. And I wanted to then talk a little bit, and this is just sad. I know, I don't know what it is about this, but it just seems like sometimes if the relationship doesn't work, it seems like sometimes the man in the relationship says, okay, I'm out of here. Like, and you can keep the kids too. I don't know what it is about that. I've heard some pretty interesting stories. And I wish I had a guy on the show that could talk to me about why it is that there's that disconnect. I'm very interested to read the mindset of a man and figure out what they're thinking when it comes down to their children and to their the mother of the children, and why there's such a surge in just a lack of male parenting in the home. So with that said, since I don't have a man on the show, we're going to keep going. It's just one of those things that I think about all the time. Like, man, how can we change that dynamic? And shout out to those single dads out there that are doing a phenomenal job. Thank you. There are some heroes out there. So I want to talk to you guys now about another stat that I was able to find for us. And it's about, the social economic status of single parents. All told, 16% of unmarried parents living with a partner live below the poverty line, while about 1/4, 27% of solo parents are there as well. So, it's some real situations here. And I'm grateful for those that out there that are blessed, that are doing well. But then you have stats like this that just kind of says we need to definitely continue to kind of raise awareness that there is a need in our society to help those that they might not have help. It might be their fault, it might not be their fault, but how can we really help people and just really have mercy? I think in this season, I don't know about you guys, but I think one word of 2020 has been empathy. Another word for 2020 has been mercy. All of us, every single one of us, have been placed in situations beyond our control, situations that we would not wish on our worst enemy. I know I've had several people pass away from COVID that I've known, loved ones, family members getting COVID. And the family dynamics change, the financial dynamics change. And so, with that said, when you look at statistics like this, unfortunately, this number is probably increasing because of what's going on in society. It's wild out there. And so my heart goes out to everyone. And I hope that, knowing these stats, that we can do something about it. It's just, how long do we just keep looking at this stuff and not being proactive about making a change and joining alongside people and helping to change these numbers? And so, with that said, my heart goes out to all those single mommies out there that are doing their best. And so I want to talk a little bit about um, some things about single mommies that I was able to find once I get to it. So I went to a website, lifeofasinglemom.com, and it was giving some information. And I can talk a little bit about my story. I'm not going to, get so transparent out there that you guys are like, oh my gosh, but I can tell you that, being a single mom, that the thing that all single moms have is grit. You know, you have to have grit because even though we are, we might be in a boat of single parenting, single moms, single dads, whatever, we still have an assignment. We still have a responsibility, and that is to raise our children with excellence, to make sure that they turn out to be awesome, contributing citizens of society. And I know sometimes it can get tough as single parents, where you feel like you're carrying everything on your shoulders. Ladies out there, it gets tough because you're like, I have to pay all the bills, I have to do everything, I have to go to all the school events, right? um you're grateful, but it's just like you're like, okay, I'm chosen for this. And it's just sometimes you look back and you see all the struggle, you see what you've been through, and it's so much for you to carry, and so I want to encourage all those moms out there that you are working your tail off. You've got a job, you're giving it your all, you've got 2 3 jobs, you don't have support, you don't have parents, you don't have a strong, you know um I guess sense of community, but yet you're still making things happen, you're still taking care of your children. I want to just say my heart goes out to you guys. Continue to do a wonderful job. I know for me, only reason why I've tasted of success is because I've had a phenomenal support group that has been there to help me as I've been raising my children. And so I know that many of you do out there as well. So take care of the people that help take care of you. Um, and so I know, looking at this right here, look, it talks about life of a single mom. I'm going to show you guys what it says. So it says, these are some things, some areas of focus for single parents, in particular single moms. And it says, number one, take care of yourself. Now, there are different ways, and I'll just speak my opinions on how we can continue to take care of ourselves as single parents. So, first things first, you have to make sure that you're taking care of yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually. There's only so much that you can take, any of us. We are all fragile vessels. And there's only so much that we can take before you finally begin to cave in. And so, with that said, you've got to start knowing how to have proper outlets so that you can take care of yourself, whether that's journaling, meditating, going to the beach, going for a walk, working out, eating your favorite pizza, whatever. Have an outlet, have something that will help you take care of yourself. Be gentle to yourself, reward yourself, love yourself. One thing about single parenting is sometimes it feels like there's no one there to love you because you're dishing out all the love, and there's no one there to really come alongside you and to support you. So with that said, you've got to make sure that you are taking care of yourself so that you can take care of your little ones. Okay. um, Block out thoughts that are contrary to how you need to feel, and just keep keep a level mind, a level head about things. So with that said, let's look at the next thing. It says, number 2, the second thing is for free time, making sure you have free time. And this is tough because sometimes it's as single parents, you feel like um there's not a lot of quote unquote free time, right? Because you're always being responsible and taking care of your child, which is great. But you should slot out some type of free time where you can just, you know, have some space to yourself and do what you need to do. So this is something that you definitely want to consider as you're trying to perfect your parenting skills as single moms. Okay, this is really real. Single mom depression. So I think single parents deal with the depression because they're lonely, and they might be feeling stressed, they're overwhelmed, things like that. And they might internalize it and then it turns into depression. So if you know of a single parent, check on them, text them, make sure just, tell them, hey, how are you? How's it going? Thinking of you. Hope you're well. Things like that. So that they're not just alone. It's tough enough being a single parent, but you would be amazed how much single parents go through and how much they have to constantly, still put up with, even though they are doing their best to raise children in the world. Sometimes not everybody comes alongside them to support them. So make sure that if you could be a good Samaritan, that would be phenomenal for you to come alongside them and support them in these times. And I always hear it gets better as they get older. It gets better as the children get older. So especially if you've got little ones, 3-year-olds, 5-year-olds, things like that, just hang in there. It will get better. And so let's look at the next one. So the next point here, it says surviving to thriving financially. This one is tough, very tough, because single moms are always having to be very flexible entrepreneurs and really just doing everything you can to just perfect the work that you do, and to please those that you are, collaborating with and working with on a day-by-day basis. So make sure that if you know of a single parent, if you can support them and, if they're trying to do something on the side in their business, or, if they're working with you in some way, maybe you can come alongside them and support them. So this is something that you definitely want to just kind of see, how can you help? It's tough. And I think that, anyone in their heart that sees a single parent and they're struggling financially or whatever, and they get a joy out of that, that's a heart issue. And I hope that if there are people out there that would feel that way, that they could reconsider and reset their heart and reset what's going on inside, because they don't understand. Sometimes that parent is all that child has. It's that child's hero. That parent is the hero. And so if there's someone out there and they see there's a mom, or you're somehow connected to the single mom, or you're connected to that single dad, and you're rejoicing in their struggle and in their sorrow, my heart goes out, because I hope that there could be a change, because I don't see how anyone in their right mind could get joy out of hurting someone or seeing someone really go through that is a single parent. I don't understand how I could sleep with myself at night if I know that, I'm intentionally going out there trying to hurt someone that is already going through in society. So I hope that, all of us on the show can be more thoughtful and proactive about helping those that are in this boat. And so let's look at the next thing. So number 5, it talks about worries, fears, stress, and anxiety. This is very real for every single parent, in particular single moms, because you're always wondering, you're always worried about different things, whether it's dentist appointments or health, or, especially with COVID and kids in school. And I know every parent out there is, scratching their heads and thinking about that with, is my child going to have their mask on right? Did they wash their hands? Do they have enough to eat during the day? Are they okay in school? Are they learning what they need to learn? Can they pass that test? So there's like all these different things that, parents carry, all these different worries. Okay. And then you have here fears. There's constant fears, always. Fears of safety, fears of financial stability, fears of just so much, that parents deal with. So if we know this, we should definitely try to alleviate those fears and help out any way that we can. The next one, stress. Stress is very real, and if it's not balanced, it can impact your day. I know this. I've been through this, of course, many times. Just overall in my life, I think we all have, tasted of stress and anxiety, and so these are very real factors here that can't be swept under the rug. And we have to figure out how we can help single parents that are dealing with stresses and anxieties, because they're very real. So take a moment and just kind of look at that list and just kind of consider what could you do to alleviate some of these things, from a single parent, especially bullet number 5, worries, fears, stress, and anxiety. You know, I think it's very, very interesting, um, that these things do take over, and sometimes they lead into situations that are unfortunate. Sometimes parents do things. I mean, you read of articles, mothers doing crazy stuff like taking their lives, driving off of a cliff, different things because they're just so overwhelmed and they cannot deal, with everything that they're going through. So this is when, it's very important to have a social support group, have, that safety net, that place where, um, you can kind of turn to people to help, in struggling times. So if you're that person that, a single parent can call, thank you. If you're that person that can kind of save the day and help them to just alleviate some stress and to take a breather, I appreciate people like you. Thank you. And so, with that said, I'm going to talk now about the next set. The next set that says, dealing with, single parenting and different things that they should look at. So the next, set of bullets here, I believe, yeah, from lifeofasinglemom.com, says coping with co-parenting. Coping with co-parenting. So this right here is definitely very different. It's case by case situations, with co-parenting. Some people have it absolutely smooth, and some people it's very different. Um, so definitely, if you see a single mom, single dad, please be very supportive in understanding this, especially, if they're a colleague of yours or if they're a girlfriend of yours, someone that you're hanging out with. Just be very understanding that sometimes co-parenting, it literally just it could fluctuate day by day. So it's just one of those things that, um, the more support they have, the better. And then number 7, should single moms date? Now, I think it's a very interesting question. Should single moms date? I don't know. I think that's case by case as well. If they're ready to date, go for it. If they're in a situation with someone that's safe to date, go for it. I know for me, there's always been a hesitancy, of bringing someone around my children, that might not be safe. I would, oh my goodness, I would regret that so bad. So, I know some people, they don't really have that hesitancy, so they go for it. Go for it. I think that's something that's a case by case basis. So, and then let's look at the next one. Number 8, it says self doubt as a single mom. Self doubt. Sometimes single moms might feel like, they're just not enough. They're not doing enough. You'd be amazed. Sometimes we just need more support from people in the community. I remember one time I had did the best that I could to, get my kids dressed, to get them somewhere, some event, and I don't remember. My kids were small, like maybe 1 and 3 years old, and something was off. I don't know if it was like a shoe or something was off, and I remembered someone in the community, a female, it's usually another female, right, was very critical and just said so much stuff, and she didn't know at the time that as a single parent, I was doing all that I could to keep myself together and keep my kids together, to hold our family together. And if I had not been a strong woman, I mean, a comment that she made, just carelessly, it could have really impacted me. You know what I mean? And so sometimes we have to be careful when we're dealing with single parents, as to how we are, kind of collaborating with them, how we're supporting them, what we're saying, how we're supporting their children, because it's a situation that's beyond their control, and they're doing the best that they can to have dignity and honor within the society that, favors, that traditional marriage stat. So, we have to be careful whenever we're dealing with single parents, even teachers. When a single parent is in the classroom, sometimes you have to go above and beyond to make sure that there's an equitable situation in your class, so that single parent, it might not be able to have the same resources as that traditional family, but that you as a teacher can go above and beyond to still make sure that they have what they need for their child and so that their child can succeed. So these are things that, we just have to kind of be sensitive about. I think it's another word, sensitivity in 2020 and empathy in 2020. I think we've kind of put those words to the side. Yes, we've had a lot of different things swaying our hearts in this season and swaying our emotions. But definitely, I think that we need to go back out there and start seeing how can I help alleviate any stigma. How can I help alleviate the burdens that these single parents are facing, especially if you've been blessed. you know if you've been blessed, own that, but then see how can you take that and pay it forward. That doesn't mean you have to give your whole life, but you could do a good deed here and there. I mean, you got it in you. You could do it. Encourage others to do it as well. And so self-doubt as a single mom, it's so real. um And so we've got to take care of those out there, those single parents that might be hard on themselves and condemn themselves and feel like they're just not good enough, they're not doing enough. We've got to take them to the side. If you can maybe, just, I don't know, uh, get them a small gift or a gift card or thing of flowers, a nice note, just letting them know that they're doing a great job. It's it would mean the world. I mean, it means the world to me personally when people go out of the way to show their appreciation. Because yes, we all make mistakes. Um, but there is nothing like that feeling that you have, when you're a single parent and you're doing all that you can to hold it together and to make sure that you can be successful and your kids can be successful. But then yet, you have the whole world out there that there's all types of resistance coming at you or coming at your family or whatever, and you're still doing all that you can to hold it together. So, hat off, kudos to all you single parents, in particular, single mommies out there that you feel like, you're doing everything you can to hold it together, and people just don't understand the weight of that. Hats off to you. Don't stop, don't slow down. Just continue to be great, continue to be excellent. Okay. And so now let's look at the next one, single mom stigmas. There is a stigma behind this. I spoke on one of my other shows about how my biggest fear was being a single mom. I always dreamt of, being married and having that coziness, that stability, that wholeness. And so when I was trusted with this chapter, because of life circumstances, it really, it I think what it was, it kind of helps me a lot to understand others and to really empathize with those that struggle, because I think that I was kind of oblivious to the strength of single moms. And, when I was a college student and, I would see single moms, I would just kind of be like, oh, what put her in that situation? And, like, just kind of like looking down, like kind of condescending and being, not really being a nice person, you know? And the thing about that, with not being a nice person, you can only not be a nice person for so long until finally you're going to have to either change that or it's going to affect how you sleep at night. It's going to affect you. You won't be able to sleep at night. You will be convicted. You will deal with guilt. You will deal with shame and things that you shouldn't have to deal with if you're just a nicer person. So, it's something that we definitely want to make sure that we are considering when we have that single mom stigma, and like, how can we kind of honor these women out there that are doing their best, and sometimes it's just like you have to put yourself in their shoes. You have to put yourself in their shoes and say, what if it was me? What if it was me? We don't know exactly her struggle. We don't know the story behind why she's there. We don't know how hard she's worked to, change her situation and better her life, and the fact that she's getting up every day and she's resisting, that is to be honored. That is to be honored. And God bless all those out there that are really trying to help, because we need more people to come up to the forefront and to help, single parents that are just going through so much and they're trying. And again, like I said, single dads as well, because single dads get swept under the rug like they're not doing anything. They're very honorable. And so I want to honor single fathers as well, and let them know that even in this holiday season, be encouraged, and you might not think you're much, but that little child thinks you're everything. That child of yours, they think the world of you, flaws and all, they do, and we have to remember that, as we move forward, they do think the world of us. You've got to stay strong for them. You got to move forward for them. And so, with that said, now let's look at the next one. So single moms, another thing that they deal with is that they're not the picture perfect family. And that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. Not the picture perfect family. And so, because there's cracks in the glass, people with the picture perfect family, sometimes they don't know how to receive a single parent. Um, Sometimes they just want to get rid of single parents. Like they just want to not think about it, just want to ignore it altogether and just move on with life, because it's easier to avoid it and put it, to the side than it is to own it and do something about the problem. So very interesting. Not the picture perfect family, but I want to encourage those. Just because you're not the picture perfect family doesn't mean that you can't strive to be an excellent family and to be a wonderful family and do great things with your children. I know when my little ones were coming up, we did a lot of activities all the time. We go and we don't have snow in Florida really. I mean, we had frost the other day, but we don't have snow. And so we would go to like these like snow places, like with fake snow, and like make the best of it. We go to the beach and do activities that they're they're effective at making memories and they're not costing you an arm and a leg. Going to the park, you know, excuse me, different activities that you can do with your kids. And if you're ever lost as a single parent and you don't know where to go, you can always check your local areas and figure out, like local events for parents or local events for kids. And you would be amazed what comes up with that. So definitely continue to move forward in motivating your kids, loving your kids, having fun with your kids, and making the best out of it. I was looking at some parents that, single parents that were posting pictures of in just this October, they were doing pumpkin patches and stuff. And I just thought that was so neat because they're making those memories. That's what it's all about, making those memories. Because, I'm always thinking like, when we get out of here, we're taking our last breath. What will people think about us? What will our kids think about us? Um, that's the most important thing. You know, you can make $1 billion, but that has nothing compared to when you're on those last breaths and you're getting ready to get out of here, and what people can say about you and what people will remember about you and how you made them feel. So, with that said, we've got to, consider that when, even though the parents might not have a picture perfect family, we can still celebrate who they are and what they bring to the table. And maybe we can come alongside and help them have the picture perfect family. So, I thought that was pretty interesting. I found another stat for us that was kind of interesting. And this is a stat on single parent families. Now, listen to how much our world has changed. It says 46% of U.S. kids younger than 18 years of age have two heterosexual parents, so mom and a dad in their first marriage. compared to 73% in 1960. Wow. That dropped. We are in a different world. So my question is, what are we going to do about it? I mean, how long can we really kind of still expect this cookie cutter, picture perfect, picket fenced family when we obviously have stats here that are telling us it's time to embrace the fact that society has changed? You've got blended families, you've got single dads that are doing phenomenal jobs, you've got single moms now that are entrepreneurs doing amazing things. We had to come alongside these different groups of people, and embrace them so that our society can continue to move forward, even with all of the different family dynamics. And I think too, we have to start questioning that traditional family image, and yeah, that's what we all want. But I mean, would it be okay to just, instead of, us just really focusing on trying to get to that traditional family image, can we focus on just having peace and in our family unit, whatever our family unit is comprised of? Like, we have peace and we have a situation where it works and it's synced and, it's blended, like it works. Like, I think we're just in a situation right now where society has challenged us to really think, and open our minds, because we're having all different types of situations, you know. I mean, especially like, blended families and blended races, mixed families, which I love. I'm all about mixing. I'm all about it. And so, like, I don't know. I think it's just time for um, us to really kind of look at these stats and see what are we going to do about this, and how do these facts or stats, how do they impact the way our children are learning in school and different things like that. Like, there's so much to consider here. So that's a little bit about that, that I was able to look up. And again, my heart goes out to you if you are a single parent anyway, and in this holiday season, I think that it's just, it would be very imperative for you to just continue to just embrace your kids and find people to link up with, find events that you can attend that are safe and reasonable for your children and yourself, and make sure that you can make the best out of it and you make your own memories. Hey, if you can't hire a professional photographer, then take pictures and use filters, right? If you can't you can't afford to go to a certain I don't know, event, like whether it's a movie or opera or something, then find some free events, or make an event, make it happen yourself. You know what I mean? Um, it's okay. It's okay. And remember, if you're going through something as a single parent and you weren't invited, then create your own event, create your own party. Don't cry in the lemons. Make lemonade. Make lemonade out of it. Okay, somebody wants you. Remember, rejection is redirection. So just kind of take it for what it is, but just learn to steer it and overcome it, and make the best out of it. Um, even buying Christmas presents. You might not be able to buy that PlayStation or I don't know what kids want nowadays, for your child, but long story short, you can still go out and make the best of it. Even if you have to go to, a cheaper store and get 20 items versus getting one big item that your child might or might not use the next year. So it's like just kind of being open-minded and considering how you can, make the best of your situation. So be encouraged, single parents. Link up with the community. Find resources out there that will help you. There are many people doing toy giveaways. There are many people doing different drives, churches that are doing things. Get linked up with it. You know what I mean? Just think smart. Work smart. Don't work hard, and make it happen for yourself, for your family. And so with that said, I know with COVID, we have to definitely make sure we're still being careful with that. I know I was looking at the news today, and they were saying in Tampa area that they're expecting a COVID spike around February. And so with that said, we just have to be careful. And if you're, also, I don't know, if you're trying to make memories, find events to make memories with the kids with, whether that's putting up lights or whatever, gardening, riding bikes. You just find events this holiday season. And, even if it's like hot chocolate, I know for me, like we love hot chocolate. Um, and I don't know, maybe somebody can answer this on the show. I have a question. Okay, this is kind of a rabbit hole, but whatever. So, hot chocolate and the little marshmallows you can get like at the gas station. Okay, I'm asking this. I don't know where to go to buy those. So anyway, I really like those little marshmallows. I don't know where to buy them. And you know how like my pet peeve about hot chocolate is this. Like I usually get the Swiss hot chocolate. The thing I don't like about hot chocolate with the marshmallows in it is this. They always run out like really fast. And you only get like 6 marshmallows. So sometimes I want 20 marshmallows and I just don't know where to go get them. And it's not the same. Somebody out here understands what I'm saying. It's not the same when you have the bigger marshmallows. It's just not the same, like the ones you use in sweet potato casserole, or it's not the same taste. It's just not the same impact. You need the small little hard ones that, just I don't know. It makes hot chocolate everything. So if you guys know where I could go to get those, let me know. But anyways, I hope you guys are doing things like, making memories, whether it's sipping on hot chocolate or putting up lights or telling precious family stories or family memories. Those are great. Playing Monopoly, whatever you guys do, playing Nintendo. I don't know what you guys do, but make memories with your children. Don't feel bad for yourself because you don't have, all the pieces of the puzzle there. Work with the pieces that you have and make it wonderful because it's in your hand. Your happiness is in your hand. Don't give it away to anybody else, and just remember that your kids, they see you as their hero. They're counting on you. And so they need you to be strong in this holiday season, no matter what. So with that said, guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, I guess I will talk a little bit about some of my books and some of my stuff so that if you guys wanted to check me out later, you can. First things first, I'll get back to the fact that this show will be offered Monday through Friday on SoulNet, WKDH radio, every Monday through Friday. That is aired online at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you will visit www.soulnetwkdh.com to tune in. Okay, so again, that's Monday through Friday, Eastern, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Okay, you can tune in there. And then, okay, if you're wanting to connect with me, you want to be featured on the show, you can send me an email at india.white.123@gmail.com. You could visit my website, india-white.com. If you just kind of want to check out a little bit of what I do, you'll see information on there from social media, blogging, books, and all. Okay, so speaking of books, I do have some books that I'll promote on the show. I like promoting others, believe it or not. And so let me see if I can find my information for you guys. So I do have a couple of books that I'm looking for. I have my autobiography. It's called Double for My Trouble. And I just basically talked about my life and overcoming different things, including homelessness, different struggles, and where I am now, and giving, of course, God the glory for that, for his grace and mercy. And then Flip Book for Overcomers, which was a recent flip book that's a motivational book and it encourages you every day. And then, of course, Power of an Overcomer, which is a phenomenal book collaboration, which, in fact, I have my daughters. If you guys can see that. Okay, Power of Overcomer book. You can kind of see it in the light. Yeah, there you go. So this is a really cool book collaboration that about 20 of us got together to do. We talked about how we were able to overcome, and we gave strategies as to how you can overcome. And I believe that in that book is really powerful because, you just hear all of these different stories about overcoming. And of course, my motto is you can overcome anything. And it's really hard um, to keep a positive mindset, but I'd rather keep a positive mindset than to go the other direction, because sometimes it's hard to get out. If you go in the other direction, you've got to be careful, and you have to make sure you have accountability, people that are there to help you, so that you don't go in the opposite direction. So, if you guys would like to keep in touch, please do. My information, you can reach me on Facebook at Miss India White. That's MSINDIAWHITE. You can reach me on LinkedIn at The India White, THEINDIAWHITE. My Twitter account is Indie Speak and Teach. Then you've got Instagram is Indie238. And my YouTube is India White 123. And these shows do show up also on my YouTube channel. I'm very grateful for that. So, with that said, that's my information. And I just wanted to come on and just encourage all you guys out there that are doing a phenomenal job, especially you single moms. My hat goes out to you. I'm very proud of you. And I know some days it's tough. Some days are tougher than others. Some of you will be lonely. You'll be upset. You'll, go through things with family dynamics. But just remember, this too shall pass. It will get better. And then others of you, you are thriving and you are on the other side. You have crossed over. Congratulations. And continue to soar and spread that awesome energy. And to those that have supported single moms, thank you. And thank you for having a beautiful heart and for just rising to that higher wavelength, to make positivity grow in the world. Because, at the end of the day, we need to help each other and we need each other, and I know they talk about how we're all related by like 4 people, or every 6 people, or every 4 people or something. We're all related, or might be even up to 10 people. I don't know, but I think it's it's like 4 or 6 people. We're all related. So with that said, we need each other. We need each other. We do. We need each other. And so even in this time, with COVID and the weather and different things going on in our nation and whatnot, we need to uphold each other, check up on each other, send a text message, send a call, let people know you love them, let people know that you're still alive, that you're out there, because we need each other. So with that said, please make sure you connect with me if you would like my book, my autobiography, Double for My Trouble, or if you would like Power of an Overcomer or Flip Book for Overcomers, or any of the other books that have been written, please reach out to me. And again, if you want to appear on the show, just send me your bio and your photo to my email, and we will get you slotted. And again, there's my Facebook information, LinkedIn information, Twitter. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube information for you guys there. So thanks so much for tuning in to the Real Talk Show. You guys have been phenomenal, and I hope that you guys have an incredible night. And until next time, I will see you later. Take care, guys. Bye.